Hey everyone, how is it going? We are live here on YouTube. Welcome to today's episode of the Technicolor Mike B Show. We're starting a new series of designs today. We're going to try to do the A to Z of animal designs. And we're starting with the letter A. Originally I thought I would do the alligator design for today, but yesterday I went to Go Ape, a outdoor activity location with treetop adventure, and I thought, hey, Ape starts with A, why don't we have that be the first design in our A to Z? So yeah, I went to Go Ape, which is a group that has a bunch of outdoor treetop adventure locations. I believe they have 14 locations across the United States, and looking at the locations, it seemed like a majority of them are on the eastern half of the United States. So there's one in Virginia, or I guess there's two in Virginia. There's one up here, one down towards Williamsburg. There's one in Maryland. I believe Delaware had one, and Memphis, Tennessee, and just a handful of other places across the U.S. And yeah, I needed to get out of the house and wanted to try doing something different. Originally, I was looking for a place that was offering zip lines and stuff like that, and this kind of came up in the research I was doing. There are some zipline places west of me in Harper's Ferry and a few other locations I could have gone to. But I said, you know, why don't I check out this Go Ape place in Springfield, Virginia? So that's what I did yesterday. Now, their website was offering a variety of adventure packages. I chose their treetop adventure. That was their biggest outdoor activity that they had. And they describe it as a treetop adventure in the canopy, looking across 50-foot high treetop crossings, super long zip lines, heart-stopping Tarzan swing, and more. It is described as a 2 to 3 hour adventure with their longest zip line of 320 feet. So yeah, I decided to check it out. I was a little uncertain of what to expect, since a lot of their website was focused on parties and groups and things like that, and I was going single, alone, just by myself, and didn't really know how things work there. If I signed up, if I would just be stuck in a group of 8-year-olds at a birthday party, and I'd be the plus one that was sort of tagging along in their group. And fortunately, that's not how this place worked. So the treetop adventure that I went on doesn't per se have an age limit, but they do have a height limit. So you had to be 4 foot 7 inch to participate on their treetop adventure. They have other activities for kids that are only 3 feet tall. This one, I guess, just on the height restrictions, is more or less going to be limited to the teenage and adult crowd. So there were, I think, 10 of us that were starting at the same point that I was getting started on my treetop adventure. And the first activity they had us do was meet with one of the instructors to go over the procedures, how to navigate through the treetop adventure and some of the rules and regulations that they have you follow. everyone was given a harness, and they have a continuous line that you are attached to when you're on the treetop, so that you sort of have to just keep going in the same direction, and you're not going to wander off or fall off. So you're always connected to a single line, and you have a second connection point that you have to keep on moving as you go forward from place to place. The way this place worked was we had our first initial briefing with the instructor, sort of learning how to navigate and maneuver and do all the other stuff. And then we were pretty much set off on our own. They have a sort of a hub system, so at the central location for the treetop adventure, you show up there and you're wearing your wristband, and they check you out and say where you've been. Oh, you've been on number 3, number 4, so would you want to do 2 or 5 next? And they would send you up one of the sets of stairs to one of the treetops. And they sort of, even though we had a group of 10 starting out at my start time, that was really like a group of 3, a group of 4, a group of 2, and myself. Yeah, I don't know if it adds up for 10 or not, but so that as we finished our orientation and made it over, they sent each one of our groups up a different line. So we were instantly separated. So even though there were the 10 of us starting at 1:30 or whatever time it was, that we weren't all just in a line going together. And sort of do it at your own pace. The first trail I went up, there was no one ahead of me, and I eventually, halfway down, did catch up to the group in front of me. That they were doing one of the more difficult crossings, and they were having a hard time with it, so I did catch up and got to watch them do that crossing. The rules are no more than 3 people at a time on a platform, and no more than 1 person at a crossing, so that you have to sort of keep your distance, so that I had to wait at one platform while the group in front of me proceeded on to the next platform. So like in golf, that you have to wait for your groups to finish the hole in front of you before you move forward. And every crossing was different. Some were a normal bridge that you could walk across. Some were just a single rope hung from tree to tree. Some were a net that was sort of forming a bridge. Some had logs that were crisscrossed around that you'd step log to log. So every crossing was different, and most of them had a sign at the beginning that sort of said, is this easy, moderate, or extreme? I think there were 3 or 4 that were listed as extreme, and as someone who is 6 foot tall, 210 pounds, I'm not that great of balancing. I was thinking, how do those circus performers do those tightrope walk acts? Because I had a hard time, and I had a harness, and I was holding on for dear life doing some of these crossings. The last line of the day was their Tarzan swing, which was a little bit different than all of the other lines, because you actually swing across on your harness, and then you have to send the connection point back. And they had to give you the briefing at the start of, okay, you're going to swing across. The second you hit the net, you'll bounce back. Then the second time, grab the net, climb up, go over, and then transfer your harness connection from the swing to the trail on the other side. So they had to give you all of those briefings, and 1 person at a time. So it took a little bit longer to get the groups through that last line. And I did add on 1 extra adventure to this trip. I did their monkey drop, which you climb up to one of the 40-foot platforms and get attached to the harness and just walk off the edge. Not quite a full-blown bungee jump, but they have an auto harness system that will engage after 5-10 feet of free fall and lower you the rest of the way down to the ground. And let me just say, it was a little challenging just walking off into nothing and just sort of like taking that step off the edge without having a pool of water or something below me. So yeah, so this was I thought it was a fun place. It was $100 for the day, including buying some gloves and doing both the treetop and the monkey drop. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. I think if I was with a group, it would have been a little bit more fun. Based on sort of like the way that it's configured, I'd say a group of 2 to 4 would be good. Larger groups, you'd be separated into like groups of 4 or 5, so that you're all going different directions, because you can't all be backed up into the same area. But yeah, so that was my my day yesterday, and not sure I'm quite ready to go back. It was a good upper body workout. I was sore from holding on and trying to keep balance using muscles that I'm not used to using. So yeah, and yeah, when I decided to do the ape as today's design, I'm like, what is an ape, and is it a gorilla? Are apes and gorillas the same thing? And apparently ape is a general term for a family of animals, and I guess at least in English it is an older term than the monkey term. So originally ape was just sort of any primate, and then when people start saying, hey, those are monkeys, monkeys became primates with tails, and apes were primates without tails. So the modern apes that we know today are the gorilla, which is the largest of the ape family, and it also includes the chimpanzee and the orangutan. So yeah, so that is just your little factoid about apes. And yeah, I was thinking, is it a gorilla or something else? I'm not totally satisfied with the way the design turned out. It's really hard to get the shading right and sort of make the nose sort of disappear, because their face is a little bit more squashed. But for a first time, I think it was a halfway decent attempt. So, until next time, see you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Thanks for watching.